Gold costs more than money. Copyright The No Project.
The wedding rings. Listen to this conversation between Danny and Yasmin. What are they talking about and why?
Yasmin, don't forget tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Why? What's on?
Don't tell me you've forgotten. We're going to choose our wedding rings tomorrow, remember?
Oh, yes, the wedding rings. Look, Danny, I wanted to talk to you about the rings.
Oh, you sound serious all of a sudden. What's wrong? Have you changed your mind? Don't you love me anymore?
No, I haven't changed my mind. It's about our rings.
What about them?
Well, our wedding rings are forever, yes?
Yes, well, I certainly hope so.
And they are a symbol of our love, yes?
Yes, of course they are, but what's your point? I mean, why are you going on about the rings?
Danny, have you ever thought about the backstory to our wedding rings?
The backstory? You mean like who designed them?
No, not the designer. I mean about where they came from. The gold. Where that came from.
Oh, I get it. You mean the source, the supply chain?
Exactly. Anyway, do you remember that book I was reading? The one about gold mines? Danny, it was really upsetting and I can't stop thinking about it. It described where a lot of gold comes from illegal mines, and from mines where people are forced to work for practically nothing.
Okay, but what's your point?
Wait, let me finish. Look, our wedding rings are a symbol of love. And if the gold in my ring comes from one of those mines, then I don't want to buy it. I don't want to wear it. I want nothing to do with it. I don't want to wear the blood and pain and suffering of someone else on my hand for the rest of my life.
Oh, come on, Yasmin. I think you're overreacting. I mean, that's a bit dramatic.
Dramatic? No, there's nothing dramatic about slavery. There's nothing dramatic about poisons like cyanide and mercury, which they use in many of those mines. There's nothing dramatic about kids, even tiny kids aged 9 or 10, working for year after year in a gold mine, only to die when they are 20 because their lungs are so full of dust and disease.
Hey, I worked when I was a kid. I helped my parents in their store after school.
Oh, that's completely different, Dan. Being forced to work in a mine for 12 hours a day is not an after-school job. It's nothing like that.
Anyway, why are you suddenly talking about slavery? I mean, this is the 21st century. Slavery doesn't exist anymore. It was abolished centuries ago.
No, you're wrong, Danny. There are millions of people working as slaves today, including in gold mines. Here, look at this article right here. And this photo.
Oh, my goodness. This is horrific. Seriously? Look at all the people. I can't believe this. Is this real?
Yes, and I do not want that in our rings. Do you remember I told you about the jewellery store that knows the source of their gold? I mean, this store only sells ethical gold and silver.
But Yasmin, that other store is miles away. We have to spend an hour driving there and an hour back. Can't we just go to a store in town? It's so much more convenient.
Convenient? Well, I don't think slavery is very convenient.
But those ethical rings cost more, don't they?
Yes, of course they are a bit more expensive. And think about why.
What do you mean?
Hello? They are a bit more expensive because the workers in the mines are getting paid. How would you like it if you worked 12 hours a day, year after year, and you didn't get paid? Or if you did, it was hardly anything.
Okay, I get your point. But Yasmin, do you think you can change the world?
One ring at a time, maybe.
This really means a lot to you, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. I've been thinking about it ever since I read that book.
OK, fair enough. You have a good point. Let's do it. And this photo is horrific. OK, yes, let's get those rings you're talking about. So, wait a minute.
What?
So you're saying the jewellery store that we'll go to, that store sells rings made from the ethical gold, right?
Yes?
So what about every other piece of gold jewellery that we see in shops? How do we know that there isn't slavery in all that gold?
Exactly, we don't. You won't believe this, but one day I went into a very exclusive store and I spoke to the store owner about this. And guess what he said?
What?
He smiled at me and said, "Look, to be honest, we are in the business of making money. We design and sell gold jewellery to make a profit. Simple as that. It's too bad about the slavery, but that's not our problem. We don't care. That's not something we are worried about."
What did you say?
Well, at first I was a bit shocked, but then I said, "Well, maybe you should care. You know, it's just a matter of time that more and more customers will get educated. Sooner or later, customers will learn about the source of their gold jewellery. And think about it. Given the choice, will customers just like me be happy to pay a little more for a ring that is ethical? Or will they buy a ring from your store, a ring that is dripping in blood?"
What? You said that?
Then I smiled, said good morning and left. He was speechless. Oh, and Dan, every smart electronic device we own also has gold and other minerals, like that mobile phone you're holding right now.
What? Why don't we know about this?
Well, now we do know. The question is, what are we going to do about it?